Okay.
I'd like to go ahead and get started in respect of time. We've started something called our Lunch and Learn series, Ask the Experts. Today we're having DR Horton. We plan on going live in August. So we will start doing this live in August, but for now it's on the web. So if you have any questions about today's subject, just unmute yourself and ask your question, and we will go from there. So right now, I'll just turn it over to Mike and we'll get started.
Very good. So it looks like we've got 8 participants on already. So I appreciate everybody coming on, and we'll get going. A little bit about myself before I start. I am the sales manager for DR Horton, basically from Fort Myers south down to Marco Island. Been in the business about 30 years, so I'm dating myself with age here. But was a builder developer up in Michigan for about 26 years before I moved to Southwest Florida, which was almost 7 years ago. And also I had my broker's license in 7 different states: Michigan, Illinois, Minnesota, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Nevada. Anyways, so when I came down here, so what I really want to talk about today is, obviously you're all salespeople. Bottom line is you want to make money, you want to sell homes, and whether that be new construction or existing. So what I did when I came down here, I started in sales, just like what you guys are right now, but I didn't have a clue at how they built homes down here. And even though I built homes for a living for 26 years, again, it is totally different down here than it is up north. So obviously we have a huge influx of people coming from Michigan, Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, Minnesota, New York, Boston, New Jersey. So when they see homes being built down here, they actually, I hate to say it, but since we're all in the business, they actually freak out a little bit, because what they see here is not what they're used to up north, not anywhere near. And as I said, for me being a builder for 26 years, I would not even attempt to build a home down here because of the different construction methods. So I'm going to pull up a PowerPoint here. We're going to go through the construction methods. And again, it's not for you to be an expert in construction. It's more for you to be able to, when that homeowner says to you, "Hey, Lisa, why did they do this?" Or Matthew, "What in the world is this all about?" You can actually answer the question, speak intelligently about it, and it's going to make you look more professional, and they're going to gain more confidence in you. So I'm going to share my screen here, pull up this PowerPoint, and we're going to get going. So okay, here we go. So a little bit, just to give you an idea, since you guys are all based out of the Fort Myers area, this is everything that we're building in Fort Myers and, well, the Lee and Collier counties. So the word on the street with a lot of people is the builders are not building anymore. Actually, DR Horton is one of the builders that we have not slowed down at all. Our biggest challenge right now is getting the product and getting the building permits from the municipalities. So we're not limiting sales. We're not saying 4 per month or 6 per month per community. As fast as we can get building permits and as fast as we can get them in the ground, we are selling. Some builders have cut back commissions. That is not our goal whatsoever. We've actually implemented a Realtor rewards program. And once you get to 5 sales with us, we'll continue to pay you 4% commission through September 30th of 2022, not 21, but 2022. We've already had a ton of agents already hit that milestone, so they'll be getting 4% as we move forward. So my adage is, if you want to sell new construction, you need to know new construction. So we are going to start here. So again, these are our communities. If you want to sell new construction, you need to know new construction, know the terms, know the verbiage of what's going on. The biggest thing for you guys right now, crazy world, right? It's the best of all worlds and it's the worst. It's the best because people are flocking down here and they want to buy homes, whether it be new construction or general brokerage. It's the worst at times because we don't have any inventory, right? You guys in general brokerage don't have any inventory. Builders don't have any inventory. So everybody is struggling with that right now. So the biggest thing that you need to do when you're dealing with builders, make sure you protect yourself and make sure that you are registered with that builder for that client. So a lot of builders, every community is a different registration. D.R. Horton is the same. So if you were to come into a D.R. Horton community and register a client, that client is not registered with you for every single community that D.R. Horton has, okay? So obviously, the biggest thing that we want to do is build relationships and sell homes and get paid. So you got to register your client. Do not be afraid to just flat out ask the builder sales rep, I'm registering them. How do you keep tabs on me? How do you keep tabs on the client? You've heard about impact fees. Some of these slides I'm going to fly through pretty quickly. These are all the impact fees that are paid. A lot of people don't know what impact fees are other than, yes, they're huge fees. An impact fee is actually the fee that the builder pays to the municipality. So you look here, community parks, regional parks, roads, EMS, schools, government buildings, okay? If you are doing or showing a 55 plus community, typically there would be no impact fees for schools because there's no children in there. So these can run anywhere from $20,000 to $40,000, $50,000. Again, just a little thing, couple things here. Airport traffic, RSW, they are estimating in 2019, we had 10 million passengers. In 2021, obviously 2020 had dropped because of COVID. 2021, they're estimating over 11 million passengers flying into RSW. Absolutely amazing. 11 million people coming into RSW. So RSW is the largest single runway airport in the United States. If you're not aware of this, they're adding another runway, they're adding a new tower, and they're also adding, have the ability to add 42 more gates to that place. Punta Gorda, again, just to give you an idea, 2019, Punta Gorda had almost 1,000,007 passengers. What's amazing about that is that it has one airline. So you got 11 million coming into RSW. You've got 1,000,007 coming into Punta Gorda. 2020, it was down. The interesting thing, if you look at 2018 on this graph, there were more passengers that flew into Punta Gorda Airport with one airline than there was all of Sarasota Airport, which has all the major airlines. So a huge influx of people coming down here, which is great for the real estate industry as a whole, as well as builders and you guys individually. So permitting, again, we're in a crazy world right now. What's happening with permitting is in Lee County, it's going to take a minimum of 60 to 90 days to get a building permit. So that's 3 months already, okay? So what's happening now is we could try to submit a building permit. If we don't hear from them in 60 days, we call them on the 61st days. They typically will not take our call before 60 days is up. So how do we build a home down here? We use what's called, and I'm not sure everybody that's on the call where you're from. A lot of you are probably from the Midwest, New York, out west, but we use what's called a monolithic slab down here. There's really no footings to speak of, and there's no foundations to speak of. So again, this is something that some of the people are going to ask you is where's the foundation? Where's the footings? We don't really have foundations and footings. We use what's called a monolithic slab, which means it's one continuous pour of concrete. We also use what's called the concrete block system or concrete block construction. Some homeowners are going to ask you, what does CBS or CBC stand for? Again, that's concrete block system or concrete block construction. Another very common question. All our blocks that we build on down here, again, this is whether you're Horton, Lennar, Taylor Morrison, Pulte. Everybody's using block construction. The blocks are 8 inches high, 16 inches wide. So you get somebody from Michigan that comes down here and says, how come I can't have 9-foot walls? Well, the reason we don't build 9-foot walls, all the builders, is again, because of the 8-inch high block. We go from 8 foot to 8'8" to 9'4" to 10 foot to 10'8". So everything is built in 8-inch increments. Again, people from up north and Midwest, out east, they're not familiar with this. Every concrete block is filled with cores with concrete every 3 to 4 feet. Concrete lintels, they're not used to, they're used to hearing headers. We don't use a wood header down here, okay? So this is what your typical concrete block looks like. This is a picture of a monolithic slab. So when you look here at the very bottom, we have what's called continuous rebar or rod. That actually goes from the slab, way deep here, into the block and goes all the way to the very top of where the trusses are. Okay, that's what a pretty picture looks like. This is what real life looks like. So if you sell new construction and you're talking to your Lennar sales rep or Horton sales rep or Pulte sales rep, this is called form boards. Again, lingo that's totally, not used up north. So this is called form boards, and this is what keeps all the concrete in place. These right here is the re-rod that you see, okay? That was in this picture here. Again, it goes from here all the way up to the trusses. So that's one picture of what it looks like. When we block up the wall, and this throws everybody for a loop, again, including me after being in the business 27 years, we block the whole wall up. Then these holes here, actually the framing contractor comes through and knocks holes in the block wall. So again, if you have a question on moot, but I'm going to ask the question here, why do we knock holes in the wall? Does anybody know? The biggest reason that we do that, and the only reason we do that, is so the building inspector, when he pulls up on site, if he doesn't see these holes knocked in the block wall, he's going to drive off and fail the framing inspection. Why? Because he is looking for this re-rod that's supposed to be in the wall. That was the first picture. If he doesn't see re-rod, he's failing it. If he pulls up to the site and doesn't see the holes in the wall, again, he's going to fail it because there's no way for him to physically inspect what's going in those block walls. So, building inspector pulls up, he sees the holes, he sees the re-rod. Then what happens is you're going to see all these patches. Again, number one, homeowners are freaking out because why did somebody vandalize my home and knock holes in the wall? We do that on purpose so the building inspector can see that there is re-rod. Number two, after they pass the inspection, we put up these patches here. Again, it doesn't matter whether it's Pulte, Horton, Taylor Morrison, Stock Development, GL Homes. We all do this. Again, you'll hear me asking questions and answering. Why do we do this? We do it because wherever we have one of these patches is where we have a hole in the block. And we fill from the very top here all the way down with solid concrete. So this is called a tie rod up here, anchor strap. That is tied in with the re-rod all the way down here, which is tied in to the slab that you can't see. So again, the whole purpose of this is when homeowners ask you, why did they knock holes in it? You can tell them. Why do we have this patch on it? You can tell them it so the concrete doesn't flow out. And you'll notice wherever we got windows, there's always more re-rod around the windows and any door opening. So once the concrete is poured, we pull off these patches you just saw. What do they see? They see this. Not a pretty sight. And again, homeowners are going to ask you, Angela, what? It looks like concrete's dripping out. Why did they patch the walls? Okay. It's not really a patch. It's to keep the concrete in and make sure that re-rod is totally encased in concrete all the way up. But again, if you're from up north or you lived up north, totally different way we do construction down here. Okay, so we've done the shell now. Now all interior walls are either 2x4 wood studs or metal studs. There's pros and cons of each. A wood stud is actually structurally more sound. So we live in the world of leisure, right? We want our big 60-inch TV, 72-inch TV. So if you put a wood stud interior wall up and you try to mount a 72-inch TV on that wall, if you drill into the wood studs, it's going to support the bracket that holds that TV. However, if you use metal studs, like in this picture, there is no strength to metal studs whatsoever. So the best way I can describe a metal stud, everybody thinks, oh, they're metal, they're really strong. If you open and you're going to cook some spaghetti at home, and you pull that long strand of spaghetti out of the box and you sort of hold it in the air, it's going to snap in two, right? That's the same thing what a metal stud does. It just bends in two, okay? So there's no structural integrity of the metal studs. there is structural integrity to the wood studs. Half the builders are using wood, half the builders are using metal. Depending on which builder it is, they're going to tell you one is better than the other, okay? The advantage of metal is you can't see it too well, but all the metal studs are already pre-drilled, so they can pull the wiring through them and they can pull the plumbing lines through them, okay? Drawback, no structural integrity. Another plus is that you're not going to have the expansion and contraction that you do with wood, because obviously from now until September, obviously it's going to get very hot and humid. Wood's going to expand and contract. Metal studs aren't. Metal studs or wood studs, people like them because they're more structurally sound. You can hang pictures on them. You can hang TVs on them. You can hang speakers on them. They're just a more structurally sound. They do have a tendency to warp. They do have a tendency to expand and contract. Down here, we typically have the air conditioning on 24/7, 365 days a year. So that really is not as big a concern as people up north will think. Electrical. So again, up north, this is for up north, wherever. On the left side of the screen is your circuit panel box. In Florida, that's typically mounted in the garage. And the right here is what's called a GFI, or ground fault interrupter. By code, down here in Florida, all your kitchen plugs, bathroom plugs, outdoor plugs, and garage plugs are going to be a GFI. So you'll see the little cursor here. You'll see reset and test. You go into your master bathroom, take a shower in the morning, you're going to use the blow dryer or a hair straightener or whatever, and you don't see this plug in the master bath, and the plug does not work because your hair straightener, your blow dryer doesn't work. You go out to the garage, you're not going to see the circuit panel here. You may have to go into the guest bathroom or half bathroom. What a lot of homeowners do is they call an electrician, say, no power to my plugs. Electrician comes out, Mr. Sparky or whoever. They walk up, they press reset, you have power, and they hand the bill a homeowner for $70 or something. So outdoor plugs, kitchen plugs, bathroom plugs. When you go home and you look in your kitchen tonight, if you have a fairly new home, you'll see one of these reset GFIs in your kitchen. All the rest of them will be tied into this, but not out in the garage. So again, just something to know, because again, homeowners are not familiar with that. Here you got a smoke detector and a CO2 detector. Excuse me. Again, I ask questions and answer myself. The one on the left is a CO2 detector and a carbon monoxide detector. You should know this. How do you know it? Because the one on the left actually has two speakers to it. If you look at the one on the right, that's strictly a smoke detector because there's only one speaker. So again, I was a builder for 26 years. I worked for GL Homes. I was doing a walkthrough with a homeowner, and the homeowner said, hey, Mike, look it. You guys are putting in smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. Well, so I wasn't embarrassed. I'm like, yeah, how'd you know that? I didn't have a clue. He goes, well, you got two speakers versus one. I said, man, you're really smart. Well, with HGTV and all the other shows out there, people pick up so much stuff. So you look up here, single speaker, smoke detector, double speakers. It's a combination smoke and carbon monoxide. Question for you, and I'll answer it, but if you live in a community that has no gas, no propane, no LP, so you have electric dryer, electric range, electric hot water heater, do we have to put in a carbon monoxide detector? And if I heard Brenda say yes, I just saw her mouth at yes. We do. And the reason why is because obviously we all live with electronics, right? We live with our cell phones, our laptops, our iPhones, everything you can imagine. So you get up in the morning, you're running late for an appointment, you get out, you jump in the car, and you don't hit the garage door to go up, and like, darn it, I forgot my cell phone. So the car's running, you walk into the house. What happens is that carbon monoxide from the gas in the car is going to come into the house. So carbon monoxide, our detectors are required in every single new construction home now. Couple plugs here. This always throws people for a loop, throws me for a loop. You got the plug on the left that looks upside down, right? Then you got the plug on the right that looks normal or it's placed normal. So the plug on the left, the reason they turn that upside down here is because when you walk into a room, could be a living room, bedroom, den, that plug on the left side of the picture here is attached to the switch on the wall. So you're wondering, what am I talking about? So a lot of times you'll walk in, you'll hit a switch and that lamp will come on. The only way that you can really tell where that plug is by turning it upside down. Up in the Midwest, New York, they don't do that. All the plugs are on the right. And I remember you'd go in, you'd flip a switch, nothing comes on, you look at the ceiling, there's no ceiling light. You're like, darn, where the heck is it? So you take a lamp or you take an old clock radio and you plug it into every single plug until that thing turns on. So this is an easy way. And again, homeowners, just like myself, when I did my first walkthrough at GL, I said to my superintendent, I says, these electricians must be really stupid. They can't even put a plug in right side up. He looked at me and goes, Mike, we do that because it ties to the switch. So again, that'll be a very common question that comes up with homeowners because again, they don't do that up north. This here, people are going to ask, what is this? So down here, we don't use copper plumbing anymore. We use what's called PEX, P-E-X plumbing. PEX plumbing is the actual water lines that we're using. Great thing about it is flexible, is very high density, very hard to break a line like it is with copper. So when people see this sticking out, red is the hot, blue is the cold, PEX plumbing, okay? The other thing that we do down here, and this is important for you guys to know, someone calls you up for a general brokerage listing and says, hey, would you go to my place? I've decided I'm going to stay in Michigan the rest of my life because I love being in a shutdown state and I love 30 below wind chills. So I can bash Michigan a little bit because I was up there for 50 years. So I'm never moving back to sunny Southwest Florida. So you walk into their condo, you walk into their house down here, and it smells like someone never flushed the toilet. It just smells rotten to the core. So really what's happened is the water in what we call the P-trap, or this right here, sewer trap, P-trap. Those are the whole reason these are designed like that is for nothing more than to hold water. Sewer gas cannot penetrate water, but if there's no water in that trap, so this is under a kitchen sink, sewer gas is going to come into the house. So down here, evaporation happens very quickly. So there is one of these sewer traps or P-traps on every plumbing product you got in the house, or there should be. Showers, laundry tubs, washing machines, regular tub, shower, kitchen sink, bathroom sinks. So again, if you walk into a listing and it smells terrible, run all the water lines, flush the toilets. Even toilets have these, but they're underneath. So run everything, let it run for 5-10 minutes. The smell is going to go away, open some windows. This can happen on brand new construction as well. So we had a model out in Golden Gate Estates, never used the one bathroom at all. 4 months into it, my salesperson called me and says, Mike, I can't work here. Oh my God, I think I'm gonna throw up. It smells so bad. Somebody must have used it. The sewer lines are plugged. The septic tank is backing up. Something's going on. Well, really what happened is this little trap here dried out because we never used the master bathroom and we never used the laundry room. So all the sewer gas was coming into the house, and it's bad enough that you can get sick to your stomach and headache. So whether it's general brokerage or new construction, you walk into a home, or a homeowner could be living there. Again, our sales model in Golden Gate, we'd had that open for 4 months. We were using the guest bathroom, never turned on any of the other appliances. So just something to keep aware of. So water meters, shut-off lines. I teach the same class, and I'm doing the condensed version today. But I teach the same class to my own salespeople because if your water line breaks, do you know where to shut the water off at? So when you look at this slide here, this box right here is where the actual water meter from the municipality goes. Okay, so the water meter itself that the city or county puts in is in here. Comes out, this is not the water meter. That's a water valve, but it's not a water meter. You'll see these 2 green handles here and here. That's where you can turn the water off or on. If it is perpendicular to the pipe, same direction, the water is turned on. Okay. You'll see these little green things out here. Those are holes in the ground for irrigation. So you can turn on the water irrigation at these two. One thing I will really, really caution you on, and this, you need to take this seriously. So this right here, this happened up in Cape Coral a year or two ago. A person stuck their finger in there to pull the top off to check the water meter. Well, bees, wasps, snakes can get in here. Lady pulled this off, and on the bottom of this, you've all seen wasp nests and overhangs and front porches. There was a huge wasp nest, about the same size as this. The poor lady got stung probably 500-800 times. She pulled it off, and the wasp just came out in full force and stung her. So please, please be careful. I would use a hanger or something as opposed to sticking your finger in there and doing that. We've got a community down south in Naples. I should heed my own advice. Took one of these, I opened it up. There was a water moccasin in it. Okay. I don't know who was more scared, him or me. Probably me, because I ran quicker. So just be very careful if you ever pull these tops off, because there's snakes, there's wasps, there's bees in it. So back to this. If you have a break in your water line, where do you shut it off? You shut it off here or here. Okay. Same thing here. Your water line comes into your house. When the valve is like this is shut off. Okay. This valve that you see up here is a pressure relief valve. It's not to hook up a garden hose to. Okay. This here, same picture. The water is in the on position because water is flowing through it. So when it's run perpendicular, it's on. When it's horizontal like this, it's off. You need to know that because sometimes these freeze up and you may need to come out here and shut this water off. So most of my salespeople, I thought knew this. Probably 75-80% did not know where to shut the water valve off if there was a water leak inside the house. One of the other things you need to know, from this here to this here, from this water line, because this goes into the house on that last slide, the water line breaks there, the homeowner is responsible for taking care of that, not the city or the county, because that is on your property. The water line breaks from here out to the street, the city and county will do that at no expense to you. So a lot of homeowners don't like that answer, but that's the truth, because your lot line's right about in here. So from the lot line into the house, homeowner's responsible. Okay, moving on. HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Really, the only thing you need to know here is down here, we use what's called the SEER efficiency. So again, everybody up north, they're not used to, we have air handlers, we don't have furnaces. Michigan, Ohio, Illinois, Minnesota, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, everybody has furnaces. Okay, so they open the closets down here. They have basements up there. Why is your furnace on the main floor? Well, it's either in a closet in the main floor or it's typically hanging in the garage. But they're not furnaces, they're air handlers. Okay. Down here, we use what's called SEER, which stands for Seasonal Energy Efficiency Ratio. All that really stands for is the energy efficiency of the air conditioning unit, because we use our air 10, 11, 12 months a year. So somebody's going to say to you, hey, Angela, what is the SEER of that furnace? Well, first of all, it's not a furnace, it's an air conditioning unit. And second of all, if you have a good rapport and you can tease them, you can say, hey, Mike, what does SEER stand for? They're going to say, I don't have a clue, but I heard on HGTV or I read a book about it. So all you need to know is that SEER is the energy efficiency of air conditioning units, because people will ask you that. The higher the SEER, the more efficient the air conditioning unit is. Okay. So this is your typical indoor air handler, 3 components to it. You've got the electronics up here, you've got the fan, you've got the condensing unit. It really is pretty simple. This is your evaporator coil. If you see this is all black, then that's all black mold and mildew. You need to get it cleaned. So an evaporator coil, again, without getting technical, basically pulls all that moisture out of the house, turns it into water, and that's why you've got the evaporator drain outside. Those can actually do in the summer months like a gallon a month. So this is the evaporator coil, which sits here. If that's moldy and black, you really need to get it fixed, because what's happening is just, and that's very common because again, it's taking care of all that moisture that's in the house. This is the actual condensing unit. So for yourself, as well as any people you sell for, if a AC guy comes out and says you need a whole new unit, what you really need to ask is, do I need a condensing unit? Do I need an evaporator coil? Do I need a new fan? There are some people, excuse me, that, and you've heard on the news, there are some heating, cooling, air conditioning people that have been unscrupulous and they just take advantage. So again, when they see you need a whole new unit, ask them, what are you talking about? Are you talking about the evaporator coil, the condensing unit, or the fan? Because there's three components. You're going to redo the whole thing, it's probably going to cost you around $10,000, $11,000. So again, just for your own sake, make sure that you ask that question as well. Termite protection. So again, down here, homeowner walks in, they see the 2x4s are all sprayed with green. That's what's called BoraCare. And we actually, it's not womanized lumber. We actually spray the bottom plate and up about 36 to 42 inches on all wood studs throughout the entire house. That is what Horton does with termite protection. Some builders are going to use bait traps outside. These are bait traps. Again, I was down here for a year and a half. I lived in Bonita Springs at Village Walk. These were all around my house on the outside. I didn't have a clue what they were, because again, New York, Michigan, Ohio, the Midwest, the Northeast, we don't have a termite problem. We don't treat for termites. They don't have to when it's under construction, and they don't do it year round. Down here we do. So I had all these in my yard. I didn't have a clue what they were for about a year and a half. So again, it's just a matter of educating the homeowners on what they're getting into. So BoraCare is when we spray the wood, and it's almost like a Clorox bleach, which turns the wood green. Then you've got termite traps. Okay, so that's basically how we treat for termites down here. One of the things that you can always check on a new construction home is if you go in the garage, again, regardless of whether it's GL, Pulte, Horton, Taylor Morrison stock, there should be a termite inspection sticker on the electrical panel in the garage. A building inspector will not give a final inspection or a CO until he sees that the house has been treated. Part of occupancy down here. So talking of certificates of occupancy, a lot of builders will get C of Os before the home is complete. Plumbing inspection has got to be done, HVAC, electrical, building, grading inspection, okay? Just because the homeowner hears the builder has the CO does not mean the home is ready to close. What it means is it's passed the inspection. The builder still has to punch it out, has to final clean it, has to do the touch-up paint, and do a walkthrough with the homeowner. I would encourage you, and I get in trouble from my builders for this, if the home is not complete, don't have the homeowner close. Now, my builders get upset with me that they're like, Mike, I only got like 6 or 8 things left to do. It doesn't matter. When someone's spending 200, 300, 500, 600, 800,000 on a home, they should not move into a home that's 98% complete. It needs to be 100% complete. So that being said, CO is done. Homeowner should do a walkthrough with the builder. The builder is going to call it an orientation. The homeowner is going to call it a punch list. They're pretty much one and the same. Builder wants to believe that they've got everything done 100%. The homeowner won't find any touch-up paint that needs to be done or anything else, which is awesome. That's the way we strive to do it. Doesn't happen all the time because of the environment we're in and everybody's so busy, okay? Builder likes to call it orientation because he's going to show them how to use the thermostat, looking at the HVAC unit, the air conditioning unit. He's going to go through everything in the house. Homeowner really doesn't care about that. They want to make sure the home is done. So I would just encourage you, don't have your homeowner who's buying a new home, I don't care whether it's Horton, GL, whatever, don't have them close unless the home is done. Now, that being said, there could be a cabinet door that's been reordered or something like that. Obviously, they want to get in, but the home needs to be done, finished. Couple of things. We're getting into rainy season now, right? But it has been the dry season. So when I moved down here again, like I said, 6-7 years ago, I was living at Village Walk in Bonita Springs, and the lakes were darn near dry. I mean, I thought you could walk across them. Again, when you're from Michigan, Illinois, you're used to Lake Michigan, Lake Superior. You're used to huge bodies of water, okay? And what happens is down here, they keep drying up, drying up, drying up. So like me, it was like 17 feet of this shoreline that was exposed. And what ended up happening was I walked and I thought, oh my God, the lake level is down 17 feet. But what actually happened is these banks are on a 4-to-1 slope. So for every 4 feet that you see exposed, there's only 1 foot that the water level has went down. So just remember that, because a lot of these lakes are really low now. They may see, 8 feet of bank exposed, like, oh my God, the level's down 8 feet. It's only down 2 feet, really. So that's really all I'm going to talk about on the construction side of it. I have another PowerPoint that I can go through real quick with you. Are there any questions at all before I start this other one? None. Please unmute yourself and please feel free to ask me. Well, you guys are a good crowd.
I have a question.
Okay.
I have a home that's being constructed and they've had the drywall laying ready to be used, laying in the home, exposed to the open air because it's just framed out at this point for over a month. I'm a little concerned with the humidity in the air and everything. Is there a limit to how long that drywall is going to be okay and can be used?
When you say it's open to the air, is the trusses on?
Sorry?
Are the trusses on the house? Is
Yes.
the roof on the house?
No, but the roof, no, the roof is not on.
So there's no trusses,
But
no
there
roof?
are, I'm sorry, the roof is on, the tile roof is not on, but the wood part of the roof is on, yes.
Okay. Can you see the wood, or is there a black covering over the wood?
I think the underlayment is on.
Okay.
I'd have to double check, but it should be.
Okay. So if the black underlayment is on, the drywall should be okay as long as it's not getting wet. So typically what happens, the builders are putting the trusses up. They put a black underlayment, which is almost like a rubber tar roof on it, roll out. And that's actually what waterproofs the house.
Yes.
The actual tile does nothing more than shed the water. All those tiles that you see, none of those tiles are actually waterproof at all. Most people don't understand that. But whether it's a flat tile or a barrel tile, those are not waterproof. If you put them on a flat surface, light 10 of them up and dumped a bucket of water on them, probably within 30 minutes, you'd see water dripping through those tiles. So the tiles are more of an architectural design look to shed the water away from the roof itself. But as long as that black underlayment is on, you should be fine, because I built a home with GL and my neighbor, same thing happened. His house, the whole house was 99% complete, really was, Laura. So the flooring was down, the trim was down, the paint was down, everything was in this house, 100% complete, and the tile roof had not been put on yet. But being that that rubber membrane was on the roof, it was protected from all the elements.
So it's not being rained on, but there are no walls. So it's definitely getting moisture from the air. Is that an issue?
It really shouldn't be, because this time of year, you're going to get moisture almost on any sheet. Now, if when the guys pick the first sheet of drywall up, if that's probably damp and wet, they're probably going to get rid of that. But you're saying there's no interior walls.
Correct. And I mean, the concrete block is up, but all of the windows are open, the sliding door areas are open, the garage area is open. So there's lots of air coming through.
Yeah, that really shouldn't be a problem, because most of the builders don't even fire up air conditioners until you're at like trim or paint stage, sometimes beyond. So I want to bring something up that Laura said. So nothing's done yet. So the big problem, the reality of what's happening in the construction industry right now, as I said, a lot of builders, we're moving forward. But what's happening is today, to get windows, again, stock, Horton, GL, whatever, to get windows, it is taking 22 weeks for us to get windows. That's 5.5 months to get windows on a job site right now. So what we're doing is we're actually blocking the door, blocking the whole house up, putting the road. We're actually paying for them twice because we're blocking the windows in with plywood now. So speaking of plywood, remember plywood used to be about $10 a sheet. A 1/2-inch sheet of plywood right now is almost $70 a sheet. A 3/4-inch sheet of plywood is almost $100 a sheet. There is a huge, huge, huge material shortage on everything you can imagine right now. Now, when I say that, I mean block, probably haven't heard it. Painters cannot get paint now. You wonder, what are you talking about? We can't get paint right now. We couldn't get insulation for a while. We can't get these concrete lintels that go above the windows so we can set the trusses. Windows, like I said, they're 22 weeks out now. Our normal time frame to build a house was 5 months. Now we have to wait 5.5 months just to get windows. So the biggest thing that's happening out there that homeowners don't understand is that the builders, they think the builders are delaying these homes. Obviously, we want to close as soon as possible. The sooner we close, the sooner we get our money. And all these big builders down here, they don't ever have the homeowner get construction loans. So it could be windows, it could be drywall, it could be paint, could be insulation, could be cabinets, it could be tile. So DAL Tile, DAL, is one of the biggest tile manufacturers in the United States. Some of their stuff is stuck out in ports right now, okay? So every product that you can imagine, we are having a heck of a time getting, just a terrible time getting. So windows now being the worst, 5.5 months. Our normal time frame to build a house was 5 months. Now we're waiting 5.5 months to get windows. So all of you are in general brokerage. So I don't know if you've seen or you're doing it yourself, but the whole highest and best offer comes in now. So you go to Port of Miami, ports in Texas, ports in Tampa. What's happening now is a lumber truck, I shouldn't say truck, a lumber boat, one of those big boats out there, freighter, has a truck, I keep saying truck, has a boat full of lumber. Instead of delivering it to the person they were supposed to, just like some sellers, and you've probably dealt with, are doing highest and best offers on homes, or we're accepting offers through this, you look at highest and best, and it drives the price up, right? What's happening in some of these ports is this big ship that has a ship full of lumber, he'll call Pulte, Horton, Taylor Morrison. Horton, what will you bid on it? We say, we'll give you X amount of dollars. Then they call Pulte. Pulte raises the bid $10 per lineal foot. Then they call Lennar. Lennar raises it 10 more. Then Horton raises it. So just as you're seeing with highest and best offers on a lot of these resales that are going out, we're seeing it with the ships out in port. Once they determine who's going to buy that ship full of, again, lumber, drywall, paint, whatever, then they call the port authority and say, okay, we're coming in. We have a buyer. So it's really hitting all aspects across the board. Like I said, lumber is up almost 300%. From 1 year ago to today, a standard 2,000 square foot home is costing us $36,000 more just in lumber. $36,000 just in lumber. A lot of builders are limiting sales per month. A lot of builders are raising prices every week or every 2 weeks or once a month. I know we've told our salespeople, expect a price increase every single Monday. And that's bizarre, but we've actually been doing that. So I was talking to a high-end builder last night at a meeting we were at. He built a home for a homeowner down south of Naples, Naples Reserve, big master plan community. Some of you may be familiar with it. Homes go from 300 to a couple million. Their contract with a homeowner was for $2 million. Took them about 15 months to build it. The guy closed. He never moved in. 2 months later, he sold it for $4 million. So you guys see it every day. We see it every day. Prices are going up. I don't know when it's going to stop. I think there has to be a correction pretty soon because people can't keep paying these prices. And again, it's not the builder trying to gouge a homeowner. Again, doesn't matter what builder it is. We're not trying to make more money. We're just trying to cover our costs. So I think you're going to see over the next 6 months, you may see a lot of small builders go out of business. That's just my prediction. Why? Because if I sign a contract with you, Laura, to build a home, and it's 30 days to get your mortgage approval, and another 30 days for you to pick out all your selections, and then 60 days to get a building permit, that's 4 months. And then it takes, say, 7 months to build it. We're at a year. The small builder cannot absorb those costs. And those costs in that, say, 6 months, just to get the home to frame, has probably went up $30,000, $40,000 just as cost. So a lot of these small builders just cannot continue to absorb that cost. I mean, we have, as the biggest builder in the country, we have national buying power. Our suppliers have basically told us, you pay our price or we'll go to the next builder. So we really are at the mercy, all these builders are, because our national contracts don't even hold water anymore because they are having a hard time getting supplies themselves. So again, it's not just the builders having a hard time, it is the suppliers trying to get PVC pipe. That's doubled in price. Copper is going up. Shingles, now you see the price of gas going up. Anything that was oil related is going up. Shingles on a house are petroleum based. The PVC pipe is made from resin, which is petroleum based. So crazy, crazy world out there right now, but it is what it is. It's great because we're obviously all selling a ton. We want to keep selling a ton. So I'm going to go through this PowerPoint real quick. I'll wrap it up. You guys have been awesome, and I'll answer any questions. So a little bit about selling with DR Horton. Some trivia questions. We were formed in 1978. We're in 29 states, 90 different markets. Our commissions are 3 to 4%. We have 4 different brands: Horton, Express, Freedom, and Emerald. We started, we have been the #1 builder in the United States in 2002. The next 2 facts are pretty crazy. Last year, we built 60,000 homes across the country. That's 166 homes per day we're selling. That's just mind-boggling. If you have a cash buy, somebody moves down, they have a cash buyer, and they come to Horton, and they want to buy that home, and it's totally finished, ready to move into, we literally can close that home the same day you write the offer. I never believed it either, but I've seen it done now. Our fastest closing is in 3 hours. So we actually can close a home in 3 to 4 hours. If they've got cash, the home is done. We can literally close, I like to say, within 8 hours, but we have done it in 3 hours. So big, big plus. We have our mortgage company, our own title company, so we can get things done. Why buy new? Oh, maybe I should put this out here. Can you guys see that okay? You can just nod your heads. So I don't have it. I don't know how to get rid of this thing here. Okay, we're gonna keep going. Why buy new?
It looks like we're looking at your old PowerPoint.
Do you see why buy new on the screen?
No.
No,
No.
we're still looking at your P tray.
How about this one? Can you see that?
Now we see your beautiful face.
No.
I wouldn't go there. Just a minute. Let me see here. Can you see that?
Oh, there it is. Yes.
Okay. Slideshow from current slide from beginning. Okay. So I just went through all this. So again, the impressive thing to me is 166 homes a day we're selling. Absolutely bizarre. Why buy new versus pre-owned? Again, it's new, it's up to code, there's a warranty, there's new technology, they're energy efficient. My home is 3 years old, it was built 3 years ago. my highest electric bill has been $89. And I keep the air on probably 360 days a year. And I keep it at 75 degrees. So obviously when you sell new, what I always suggest to people is a lot of general brokerage people don't want to sell new because they think it's going to take a year or two to get the home built. With DR Horton, we've been running 5 to 6 months nonstop. Now, with that being said, I said we take 5.5 months to get windows. The minute we apply for a building permit is when we order windows. Used to be we didn't order them until we started foundation. So clean carpets, everything. Sell, if your homeowner says to you, I don't want new construction, I've heard horror stories about it, show them all the existing homes and then say, you know what, let me take you over to Magnolia. There's some brand new homes. You don't have to pick anything out. They walk in, a new home has a smell to it. So I always suggest showing the new homes at the very end, even if they don't want to see them, because when you walk into an existing home, there's a pink bedroom and there's a green bedroom and there's dirty carpet. The roof might need to be replaced. The AC may not be good. You don't know how much more they're going to put into remodeling that home or just the warranty stuff. So it's always best to sell at the very end. It's a new warranty with it. Energy efficiency, we're about 20% more efficient than most homes. We have the smoke detectors and the CO2 with battery backup. We have a 14 SEER energy efficiency. Most of these older homes have 8 to 10 SEER. That's going to drive the electric bill up on the house. We have what are called smart or connected homes. All of our smart homes, or all of our homes are smart homes now. So that means our front door, the Ring doorbell button, the garage door opener, you can control those anywhere you're at. So if you're from Michigan and a friend comes over, you can unlock the front door and let them in. Our control panel and everything we got is wireless. So you can put that anywhere in the house. You don't have wires going all over the place and have to have it retrofitted. The Ring doorbell is an incredible thing if you don't have one in your house. We have caught people breaking into our house. We have caught kids sneaking out of their house. It's just an amazing thing, this whole smart home. Obviously less repairs, okay? New home, under warranty, air conditionings are typically 1 year from the builder, 5 years from the manufacturer. Normally, the existing homes, you don't have any warranties. I'm assuming you can buy American Home Shield and get a warranty that way. Less maintenance in new homes. There's a warranty, 1 year coverage on workmanship, 2 year on heating, cooling, ventilation, electrical, and plumbing, 10-year coverage on structural. Floor plans are new, they're more functional. You got flex rooms, dens. That's more important than ever now because obviously with COVID, my daughter and her son or her husband, they will be working from home probably the rest of their careers. Both their offices shut down, but they're big businesses. They said, you know what? You guys can work from home. So more and more people want that flex room in the den. A lot of these new homes give that to you. Financing, again, most of the builders are going to provide financing for you. If you finance with DR Horton in our mortgage company, we typically will give you $8,000 in closing cost. Most sellers in general brokerage do not do that. So that's another good reason to show new construction at the very end. Most builders have their own title company. Now I will say, if you come to DR Horton and we cannot get you approved, we being DR Horton or DHI Mortgage, and they can get approved through Cross Country Mortgage, another mortgage company, we will honor that $8,000 going to the other mortgage company. We're the only builder in Southwest Florida that honors closing costs for outside lenders. I say it's the easiest sale you'll ever make because really the builder is going to write the contract. You don't have the inspections. You don't have any of the stuff that you go back and forth with a seller on an existing home. Do the inspection. Buyer comes up with 30 items they want done. The seller says, I'll take 10. And the buyer says, no, I want you to do these 20. I'll do that. I mean, you just go back and forth negotiating. So it really is, you don't have any paperwork to do. Builder does everything. We close it, we sell it, we write it, you collect the check. Here's our home connected. This is our smart home. So you'll see the Ring doorbell, You'll see the programmable thermostat. There is a Amazon in there, a light switch, all connects into your phone. For us, that's free for the first 3 years. These are the 29 states and the 90 markets we're in across the country. Again, we do Horton, which is a regular Horton brand that you'll see, normally second and third time buyers. We do Express. That is our value engineer. There's not a lot of options for people to pick. Do a ton of these up in the Cape. I mean, it's exploding up there for us. We'll probably do 700 Express homes in the Cape this year. So again, we give closing costs on that, sales incentives, great homes, value engineered. Emerald is our high end. Don't have any Emerald communities going right now. We did on Fort Myers. Rails End, our most expensive one up there was $2.3 million. That's basically our custom version. So we customize the homes for these people, and they're typically, $1.5 million or more. Freedom Homes is our active adult brand, just like a 55 plus. We've got a true one in Fort Myers, and then we just opened one down in Naples as well. So it's more geared towards the active adult. You don't see many children in there. Net sales, and again, about 80% of our builders or of our sales come from builders. So this is what we've been doing sales-wise and what we've been growing. And a huge thank you to all you guys, because we couldn't do it without the sales that we get from all the realtors out there. Last year, we paid out $20 million in commissions. Okay, it's a lot of money. We will never, ever, ever short a realtor on a deal. I would rather lose a customer than lose a realtor as a partner. These are some of the counties that we're building in and some of the new communities. Sarasota and Charlotte County, Toscana Isles, Northport, Peachland, Gulf Cove, South Gulf Cove, River Club, Deep Creek, Waterford, Bird Store, North and Central. We're at Magnolia, Gator Circle, Entrada, Brightwater. If none of you have been out to Brightwater, you really should go out there. There's going to be a product put in out there called a Crystal Lagoon. Absolutely amazing. I would actually have you Google Crystal Lagoon. These are like a 7 to 8 acre lagoon that looks like you're at Gilligan's Island or Belize. They're just absolutely spectacular. So it's really worth going out and taking a look at it and see what that whole thing's about. That's under construction now, but they have one up in Tampa. They have like 3,000 homes. They sold out in about a year and a half. Just absolutely incredible. Big area that's starting to grow is LaBelle. LaBelle is going to be huge over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Cape Coral, more Cape Coral. Linsford, we have very few left there, but it's been a great community for us. Lehigh Acres, again, from the low 200s, and that's really starting to take off out there. Riverside Avenue, Twin Villas, brand new product for us, right off of McGregor. We're down to, I think, 6 units is all there. San Carlos Park, I have one home there. We're going to have constantly doing about 10 to 15 in the pipeline as we keep going. Our problem is, as you guys see, is that we sell them the minute we're put on the market. Because you don't see any in the MLS, please do not hesitate to call us, because we always have homes that are going someplace. Lee and Collier, Bonita Springs, Seasons, Meadowood, Enbrook, Royal Palm. This is what we got coming up in Venice, Palencia, Northport, Port Charlotte, more Port Charlotte, Stonewater, Tamarindo. We are going into Babcock Ranch. We met with them, and we're hoping over the next couple of years that we actually sign a contract for about 3,000 lots up there. So we're excited about getting into Babcock Ranch. Customer incentives up to $3,500 in closing cost. We've actually bumped that to almost $8,000. So you look at 35 and 15, that's 5. And like I said, most of our communities are up to $8,000 in closing cost. Some of those that we can't do 8,000 is the Cape, because we can't give them more closing cost than actually what the closing cost would be. Okay. The more you sell, the more you earn. So again, here's our Realtor Reward Program. 3% on the first sale, Second sale, 3% in 1,000, then 3% in 1,500 on the next two. 4% you would get when you hit the fifth sale through 9/30/2022. So love working with you guys. Again, about 80% of our business is driven from you guys. So I'm going to try to turn off this PowerPoint. There you go. Okay. So anyways, any questions for me? I did that quick. It's 1 hour exactly. I appreciate your patience and listening to me. And if you have any questions whatsoever, please just unmute yourself and we'll go from there. My name is Mike Bone, B-O-N-E. If you want my email address, it's mpbone@drhorton.com. Feel free to contact me, email me on anything, any questions you may have now or in the future.
Mike, could you please tell me the name of the piping that you use in the plumbing? You said it quickly and I didn't quite understand you.
Yes, it's called PEX, P-E-X Plumbing.
Thank you.
PEX Plumbing.
I have a question for you, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
It piggybacks off of Lauren's question and your answer on supply and demand.
Uh-huh.
I've heard that now because of supply and demand, that drywall, they're using Chinese drywall. Do you know anything about that?
I do not believe that is correct whatsoever. I know that we're not, and you're the first one that I've heard ask me that question.
Okay, great. Good to know.
Any other
Mike, you have a
questions?
question in the chat. Who should I contact for the new upcoming project in North Fort Myers?
So I would, if you want, they could send me an email and I will actually give you the name, the actual person, our sales manager. We haven't opened it up yet. His name is Sal. So most of you may have known Gary Barlow, who is one of our sales managers up there in the Fort Myers area. Gary is now moved into our land acquisition department because we needed more people buying lots. So Gary has moved into land acquisition. He's focusing, we're trying to buy 120 lots per month. So if any of you have lots for sale, individual spot lots, feel free to reach out to Gary because again, we're trying to buy 120 lots per month just in the Cape Coral, North Fort Myers, Lehigh area. That's a lot of lots, but Gary Barlow is the one for lots. The other person, his name is Sal, and he's going to be our new sales manager that's taking place of, I'm looking him up right here. He is our new sales manager, and his phone number is 561-602-0995. So 561-602-0995. His name is Sal, short for Salvador. Just keep in mind if you sell new construction that just as fast as existing homes and resales are going, new construction is going that fast, but the difficulty we have is there is such a huge supply chain management issue. Like I said earlier, from windows to, it doesn't matter what product, it's really a challenge out there right now. Let's see here.
What's Gary's contact info, please?
Gary's contact info is Gary Barlow. Gary's cell phone number is 239-877-4980.
Thank
And
you.
my email address is M as in Mike, P as in Patrick, MP Bone, B-O-N-E @ drhorton.com. So I'm happy to take phone calls, emails. I'll give you my phone number too. It's 239-220-0272. Whether it be a land question, a construction question, a sales question, whatever, I am more than happy to ever take phone calls, emails, whatever. Even if it's not related to Horton, you got a question on construction, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you all very, very much for attending this. I know that we're going to in person in August or September, but I really appreciate you guys hopping on and spending an hour of your time with me.
And thank you so much, Mike, for being with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Okay,
All right.
take care. Bye-bye.
All right. You all have a great day.